somebody who never even dreamt of being a president. We should never do that to begin with. Lungu, that's a fact. He's an accidental president, and we are where we are because of his past. So now, with all this, I mean, it's giving away. For argument's sake, I was listening into the people's president, Muliokela. I mean, I listen to him for entertainment. He is saying, I mean, you are even giving Muliokela, cause to suspect that actually Lungu is not dead. He's alive somewhere. Or the other confusion that's springing up that he was shot somewhere because of a deal that went south. All these are coming up because one, nobody has seen Lungu's body since he died on June 5th. I mean, what is the end game here? I mean, my question now is, what is the end game? What is the end game to all this confusion? Because as a Zambian citizen, born and bred, I'm flabbergasted, and I'm already over it. Over it. At this point, let them bury South Africa so that we can continue having our mercy at the granddaddies. That's my final word on this. I am so sick and tired.
Okay, I think I have a few things to say on that. Now,
are you sure about Mashina, you want to tackle this one?
Yes, I do. I definitely want to respond to some of the things Wakalinda said. and for me, I don't see it that way. It's just me, the opinion. She has given her opinion, I respect it. I don't see it that way. I see it that Lungu is abused by him being a Democrat. He's been abused in life and even in death, to the point that you go check him out of the plane when he's waiting for medication, for medical attention, and he chooses to go as a private person. You close his office. You do everything that in humanly possible to a person until he dies. You follow him in death. He says, I want to be buried privately in a private ceremony. I don't want all these shenanigans of saying, oh, whatever. Because I was never one. You took away everything. How do you come and respect someone in death and then rebuke him when he's alive? I do not want anyone to praise me when I'm dead. I want if someone has praises now. If I'm dead, put my person on a street. There's nothing special about a dead body. There's everything special about living body. Mwakonkana mujamuine. Mwaumfwana with government, mwaumfwana awe. In a wish, and Jacobat Abaka Nabe Satabaka Beko. I don't want him near me. Now, once ever Sumina Bakanabe Satabaka, Kuya Bepati, Nishin Shabere, because never president. How can you fit about Walashi Queen and our Fumapo to Kesa? Because we don't want you. What happens? Moima Moyaku Koti. Who caught you? Komafma Kukoti. Moima Moyafin than an inspection later, no, but no one enough for Tishinka. But who announced the death? The family announced, the president confirmed, you released the death certificate. Why were you releasing all these things? The embassy released the which to Fetayari, Mamu paid a death certificate. After more peace, then you come and jump and say, let's go and
inspect. Under which name?
If it's really dead.
Under which name?
We want to go and inspect.
Under which name?
Why were you inspecting? The name that you released from the embassy was Redtagmedia. Which name did you ever release? What did the president say?
What name did he check in the hospital?
What did the president say? What name did he say the president himself who is in
the
State House?
What name did he check in?
I'm talking about the name of the president released. The president sitting in State House. What did he say? What did you make of that? You know, the president said who's dead. Just to weave people around and change their mindset. It doesn't work here anyway. The next thing, we want dignity. That dignity number, what do you do? Frozen fish.
Okay. Before you come in,
because I'm the one who is answering to let me respond to him. Let me respond to him. Yeah, because he's answering to me.
Respond. Here's the thing. Respond, and then about Danny, you should come in. Or this one after Vakalinda.
Finally, I agree with Vakalinda. Lastly, on your final conclusion, let Balungu be buried anywhere, and you guys move on. Musele, move on. The president closed the national money. He was never an accidental president. He was elected by the Zambians. He ruled just like the current president. He's not an accidental president.
Let Vakalinda respond. Let Vakalinda respond, Danny, and then you can come after. Can we follow that order?
Great. All right. So let me just Bakazia. Everything you have just said right now, it's hearsay. Because those things you made, all those things you said, no, Lungu was mistreated, whatever. Those things were debunked in the courts of law in South Africa. Your own lawyer couldn't even produce any evidence, supporting what you just said. I mean, that's a fact. Your own lawyer failed to adduce evidence in the courts of law that Lungu was abused. And then secondly, in his own words, Lungu told his family that he wanted to be buried back home. That's evidence that was produced in the courts of law, supported by the Lungu's family themselves. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's not just spew rumors and innuendos, because that's exactly what's happening right now. Rumors and innuendos. You guys, you think you're going to use his body to win an election, in 2026. That's what you're doing. Bottom line, that's what's going on. And then people like Esther Nyawa, Lungu, Uyunani, what's her name again? Tasila Shinene Robinson Lungu wants to, rise into political fame. That's exactly what they're doing. But what you need to know is that Tasila Lungu herself will never be president of the Republic of Zambia. You know why? You know why? She's got dual citizenship. The Constitution is clearly states that anybody who seeks political office in Zambia has to be Zambian born and bred.
They are wanting to be president now.
She would never be.
So, Radani. No, because this one, we don't want it to be a two-woman man battle. Radani, bring your 2 cents in this one. I think we need to employ you on this one.
Okay. First, my wife. I called you. Anyway, I'm not
Internet generation na maenge Radani.
So, he said that we went to court simply to make sure that one man is present at the funeral. That is not the reason why Zambian government went to court, but he had mentioned that. Secondly, the Lungu himself didn't want to be buried in South Africa. He said, when I die, take me to Zambia. PF is saying, let's bury him in South Africa. Okay? The family is saying, let's bury him in South Africa. The judge asked them, Lungu here stated, when I die, take me in a private jet to Zambia. Why are you? Who decided that now? Let's change the Imingala to now. Let's bury him in South Africa. They couldn't answer that question, Machandagazia. They couldn't. The judge asked them, where did this notion of burying him in South Africa come from? When we came. Then the judge asked, who came with this idea of South Africa burial? Because this paper I have in my hand says, Lungu, ipepa, alembere. So I say, Trevor, like a lawyer, where did this idea of in South Africa come from? No, because of this, they couldn't answer it clearly. Anyway, the next thing I want to mention here is that PF, as Kalinda said, they are trying to use this situation to make political mileage and stuff, which would not work. It can't work. And me, what I've learned from this is this. As Africans, as Zambians to be specific, we should learn that when you that has no, what they say, there's no, if I ask Chandagazia right now, what are the benefits of being at the
Maybe
I
put
can't hear you,
your internet is a little bit, just put your mic maybe close to the, or your device close to your voice.
Oh, me?
So that
For me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if I ask Chandagazia right now as to what if HH is present at the funeral, what's going to happen? Will Zambians die? Or will something horrible happen? Nothing will happen. If he's there, can I finish? Am I still cutting, whatever?
Yes.
No, you're crystal clear.
Okay, now I can hear you.
So we have to be as Zambians, we have to champion causes, or we have to argue over things that have repercussions. For example, if HH will be there, then the whole Zambia people are gonna die or something. But we're arguing over something which has no repercussions at all.
Very trivial.
For example, the Tutsis and Hutus, they were killing each other because they were saying this shouldn't marry this. A Tutsi can't marry a Hutu. If they marry, what happens? Nothing. But they started killing each other over that. No, you can't marry this. No, you can't do this. You can't mix. You can't do. Guys, we should learn as Africans. This is what the Lungu family are saying. But they are saying, HH shouldn't be at the funeral. HH shouldn't be at the funeral. It should be 100 miles away. Suppose it's there. What happens? Nothing.
And if he's not there,
if he's not there, nothing will happen.
Yeah, so let him not be there.
It doesn't matter whether he's here. It doesn't matter whether he is here or there.
Can I finish, please?
I agree with what Dan.
Can I finish?
Let him finish.
Okay.
Sorry.
What is a state funeral?
What
is a state? A state is headed by a president. So you want to have a state funeral without the president? Let you not be there. No, we are doing the normal things here. We are not going to do the abnormal thing. The normal thing is that a state funeral is the president is there. A state funeral, the current president is there. Why should we do the abnormal when the abnormal is there? Excuse me. If you drive with your hands on the steering wheel, and today say no, I want to drive with my legs. Why do you want to drive with your legs when you have hands which nobody drive? Please, why should we not have the president of the state funeral? Why are we complicating?
Can I educate you on
let's
something?
Let's not argue over.
Let's
not please do things. No, let me finish. Let me finish.
Let me finish. And then Vasimu Konde has to come in before you come in.
Because there's something I wanted to clarify before Vasimu Konde comes in.
Because
you clarify together with my questions.
No, I want to clarify what Danny's question happened because he has already misguided himself very big and in a bad way. I want to clarify one thing. That state funeral does not denote the president being there. No. State funeral, it is a privilege given. Even you, Vadani, you can be given a state funeral by the president. It's just a declaration that the president
there?
Give, which you can accept and you cannot accept. So it's not a law that state funeral is in a law that, it's what the president can give to the person. And that person can accept or can refuse. There is nothing like, oh, when a president has a funeral, it shall be. No. The state funeral is a prerogative of the president conferring it on somebody. It is not a law.
Okay.
Done.
Okay. Mone Wakazia, I think you are challenging about Danny. It's very unfair because what Danny is trying to point out, we're following the precedents.
Yes, you drive with your hands on the steering.
Let's not lose each other here, and let's not confuse the Zambian masses. There's a precedence that has been set. When
is it a law?
Like I was saying, Raed is not bigger than Wakaunda. Wakaunda did a lot. But imagine this, as big as Wakaunda has been revered across Africa, you can go and ask any country in Africa or anywhere in the world about the name Kaunda. Two things, me and I'm traveling, the two things they tell me. What's the problem? I tell them I'm from Zambia. Oh, Kaunda.
What is your point?
The point is this. She was denied to be buried next Nababeti. So there was that precedent set. So that precedence, when it's set, it doesn't have to be in the national documents. No. That's also law. That's what we're following. So, precedence, following it, because it is now a law. So let's not, Wakazia, Moneni. Let's not misguide. So why are you trying to interject? When a precedence is set, there's no way you can go and revise it or do the opposite. So, Lungu bene bamdala baja ngabaisa ichitumbi chaita mu Zambia. Same way that any of all those presidents were buried is the same way is going to be buried. National interest presides over personal or family. As much as wakatukane makoti, wakalandesha nishani, wakatinani. No. That's not gonna work. But in any case, Vasimkonda, you can come in and then Wakazia, you can respond. But otherwise, on that one, I don't think there's nobody misguiding anybody, or you cannot attack Danny to say he's misleading the people or trying to educate him on the things that we're seeing.
But Danny, he can answer for himself.
Okay, let me come in, Wakazi. Okay, thank you very much. I think you are missing a point here. First of all, let's go back from the beginning. I concur with Wakalinda what she said. To say the president came into politics or into presidents with confusions. And he is going with also what? Confusions. And the Bemba says, Ubufumu buchindika, ubufumu buine. That is what the Bemba says. The level of the former president, Edgar Lungu, was not the level of Given Ruvinda and other PF. He was a former head of state who ruled this country for 7 years. Valungu tabai chindike abene. And no one, if they chindika tapari wanampero mchinshi. The most advised, ni ba Given Ruvinda, Nakachinda, Mumbipiri. The level of our former president was not even the level of our HH. The HH is a president, but when you talk of experience, it's different. That is what you have to understand. So it's not the level of the PF abalelanda batawe chani. It was not the level yaba Edgar. But tabayichindika bene. Tabayichindika bene balungu. Nga bali ichindika abantu bose nga bali bapera fyo muchinshi bwino. Bali ruling a country, no bali ruling for 7 years. Nga bali kala so that everyone, even the president HH, can go and get advice. But tabayichindika bene. So now we are saying that mulefu abashikire ku South Africa. Okay, quite right. Cheni bashike ku South Africa. Then HH ngawafuma pali bu president olo mukaleta board mu 2026. By then HH will be a former head of state. Whether mukairete bakabako. Because he is part of the government. Even if Munani power will be the former head of state. He will be there. And the board of view to Kaimona. So there's nothing here that you are arguing at but as long as my president by Badisa is part of the government and any activities no one, don't even me or Bakazia go not your father go by HH. Why? No.
Wasimkonda.
No. Bafuire fe basangwako. So it isn't a which. So now, Vakalete Murenda toke be kabako, Vakabe aside. Those the head of states from outside country, Abakasa given Ruvinda, honestly speaking. Nishibayeche na weka na kustate house na nguna bana mkubomba ataka ile chile tangu hapo. Bale tambira pa TV. Who is going to receive those people?
There is even Mamutana Lumango can do that.
Why?
Why not?
But you could talk about PF. Could talk about PF.
Clarify Wasimkonda. Ukulanda tiba Edgar Lungu tabayichindiki. Ni mweba UPND. They won't say awe. Imweba UPND. Ni mwemulelande yo. It is your opinion that tabayichindiki. Even mwayishire no bufimu buteko. You understand? Munebepa abantu mwaba pomba kotoni paka mwayingira mu buteko. Muneteka. It's okay. You understand? So ukulanda tayichi please Edgar Lungu achitire for tayichindiki. What did he do outside his rights? Everything that he was doing is part of his constitutional rights that are there. Imamu afipanga penataichindi. Eno mwayamba, hii ne mentality, he later ma president in a lot of ridicule. Where Mwaima, Mwala to worship the president. Mwala but the president is a servant. Te boss wenu awe. But HH is not our boss, he's our servant. Can you maybe first? Can you push it? Don't interject me.
We are talking something else here. You are going to.
No, I want us to respond. What I just respond to Simkonda specifically when he said he didn't respect himself, and I'm saying no, he did respect himself. It is your view as UPND trying to manipulate it in that way. That's number two.
Jameson every day. Every day.
Oh, Mulefa was to the land Moyambo Kulanda Tef.
Okay, all right, fine. Okay, fine. Bakazia, finish your point. Okay, let's do this.
Finish.
Yeah, okay, let's do this.
And you are there watching.
No, I'm not saying Ikalenizi. What I'm trying to give is a guidance. Finish your point, okay? And then if I'm done, you can say what you want, and then we go to because we can discuss this issue day and night. But let's tackle other issues as well.
Questions, I must answer them.
I'm not disagreeing. Am I disagreeing? I'm just saying, Ngamwapisha to answer those questions. Okay, let's see. Can we close this one because tatwa umfwane pali issue tatwa umfwane. But the majority of the Zambians now,
the point answers if you find they carry out majority imagine that imwe muipele opinion because majority of the Zambians
any point mwirasika ine puisha ife point
but ine muneni bachanda ine
any point
they can push a point ukulanda at the majority from your angle. Yes, it is fine. Now ine ngana to the majority, you must also respect my majority. I am not here to respect your majority or you respecting my majority. It is here to give each other points of what the arguments are. And also to avoid thinking on the behalf of the other person. Because when you think on my behalf, I have the same right to think on your behalf. So let's don't talk about the fee. And also making conclusions that no, when you are the one making that conclusion, no one has told you that. What people have not told you. Without getting to conclusion now, everyone else is thinking about this particular matter. Edgar Lungu was a president. He deserves the respect, the same respect we have to provide HH when he is in office. And when he's out of office, but minister when
that's not important.
You cannot even answer to it because you do not understand the depth of what government how government is implicated in such kind of behaviors and why people start to reject when you come up with a idea. But ama actions yenu, they are devilish. They are very
Dani Bakalinda, can we close this one and go to the next topic? Can we close it?
Let's go to the next one.
For me, we have a first family that believes in witchcraft, and they think the whole country believes in witchcraft, and they are scared of witchcraft. The whole process for them is
that is not
rituals true. And all that.
That is not true.
The sister to the late is talking about rituals.
They are just being manipulative.
We have a problem here. We have a first family that believes in rituals.
Can you keep quiet, Bagazia? Your friends are talking.
This is the problem. We have the first family that believes in rituals, and they think all Zambians do that in their families. And this is the problem we're having here. It's rituals versus normal.
Bakazia, can you let your friends talk? When you were talking, people were quiet.
Yes.
So when you can keep quiet so that your
why
friends...
are you saying that I should keep quiet when others were interjecting me and you were quiet?
No. Everybody kept quiet. You put your point across.
So you see how it feels when you interject the others when they are talking.
The main reason here why they don't want HH to be there is because they believe in rituals. They believe in black magic. So that's a problem here. The sister to Lungu said it in court. Rituals. You know, they believe in that. That's the problem we have here with the Lungu's family. And us as Zambians, majority of us don't believe in what the late first family believes in. And this is a problem here. We have two philosophies crashing here. One philosophy is a witchcraft philosophy. The other one is a normal government procedure process. You see, we just want a normal. So this is the problem. We want you to carry out a normal government state funeral, but the Lungu family, they think in that state funeral we're gonna put witchcraft. That's the problem we're having here. Napwa.
Bakalinda, can you close it up? Bakalinda, maybe I don't know if you got information.
Can I just point of order? You see, you are wanting to close the discussion.
No. That's what I want to find out.
We will be able to be forced to answer those questions that you are opening yourself. We'll be able to respond to those.
Bakalinda, are you here or not? Okay, Bakalinda obviously is okay. Vachitumba, Have you ever heard of Ubuloshi Wakwebati? No. What I'm saying, I just want to close it up because
I hope I will have a chance to respond to that as well, to answer to that as well.
No. We'll do it at the end.
You are asking a question about witchcraft, and then you don't want me to talk about it.
Take a jet.
Actually, that is story of Ifya I don't know. At the initial Ishaf Muragonga Fila Chitika, I think by Gangawadi Wofishe, win my elections. 2021. Shirapusha. Gabadi Wofishe Budovroshi. No, win my elections. How can Ine Ninguin footing Bofio Bulosh for what again? To win what? I don't know. To compete with what again? So that is what just in the mind to say, that is what the sister was saying in South Africa. And it was very, very embarrassing. Just like that. It's very, very embarrassing.
National TV, worldwide,
honestly speaking, even if you are 80, there's something I think you can hold just like to utter those words over there. Urosh for what? Okay, honestly speaking, for what? Do we think that South Africa as the head of state? Via Africa, via Monana body, because they can agree and with the government, South African government, and they go there.
Hoping like
the family
hoping like South Africa works.
Anyway, okay, all right, guys. Let's go to the next important topic.
On this,
but people believe in different things, and but for most of the Zambians, especially us young people, I don't think we believe in those things. And I can tell you, even the young millennials who are even younger than me, people don't even understand because that's not how us Zambians are, and that's not how
you have manufactured something and you
no, that's not how us Zambians are.
Let's discuss other things because but when people want to talk about the same thing you are discussing, you don't want to give a leverage for people to talk about it.
Okay. Hold on. Since you're insisting, because and it's well known for a hub of
Mbala.
So Muleranda tikumbala efo mushtabirivu.
And momo ayambo okulande. Chupandu shasa mwinepo akanwa to tell you what you believe in. You are the one who wants to manufacture what I believe in.
No, Chanda wrote Fiabuloshi. This text, let me send it back. Atimulefo which is cleansy text.
Money ba machine. Okay, before
nichavinga warelanda. Usheni nebo nichavinga warelanda. Warelanda tulefa kutakirinzi wa boss. Usheni nebo.
Mukoti
chavinge walandire nawo badani balefa bapose pali ine you ask chavingo walanda tena kutakirinzi bapose
Chanda said this morning that Molefu ayambo body actually cleanzy mulefu ati
Okay,
kasike
okay.
muleya pa podcast ndera pa podcast epo ili nenani dana chilando kwe bati alandira ati alefa okutakirinzi pa boss. Why are you avoiding the Panchabinga, you Danny, and then
Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Iriashi iridipo limbi iria amenshi. Okay, I think this one mwina Zambia oliyonse kutashitashani after contribute because it affects everybody. Sino Metals twalilandirepo I think maybe 2 weeks ago, but Sino Metals iramenshi bashitirepo youth umwina United States of America saying they want to evacuate abantu abekala kunani kane ku people that live in the area ku Kitwe nesharama areas out of that area because amenshi yaliko area it's not safe for human consumption. Now government na ilanda tawe we want to akolesa, don't panic because twalichitama tests and measures have been made to make sure that amenshi area yawe fepa normal pH level. Okay, so where are we now when if ngatwatampo kulolesha just an overall, not to kuleta mwama politics, but can we just look at it as an overall thing? Nga chachine yari amenshi chachine yamenshi yali contaminated nesabe twale mona chalefu. What are the long-lasting effects? Vadani, I think I would employ you, Vadani, on this one because you are a doctor. You may be understanding certain things. Can you tell us, why would Gonzalez kweba abantu ba Americans that fumeniko mwalafu abani? Are you there, Mr. Danny?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm here now.
Yeah.
From the environmental contamination point of view, this contamination I think happened in February. I think somewhere there, beginning of the year. Not so. That was somewhere when it happened. If I got it right, the contamination, ecological contamination of a place does not show its effects within months or whatever. It takes months, years, even 50 years from now, you still see the effects. Okay. So for the government to come and say we have cleaned everything and now everything's perfect, from the scientific point of view, that is 101% lie. Okay. You cannot clean environmental contamination within months. Impossible. That's the truth. Okay. So the government should say they have reduced the contamination or they're doing some measures, okay, of trying to make sure to mitigate the effects of this contamination. But for them to say the soil, the agricultural soil around, the water is fine, everything is fine, the pH, contamination is nothing to do with pH of the water, okay? It has to do with the chemical components of that water, each and every element of the metals that were poured in that river. So to say, we're going to measure the pH, and the pH is within the range of 6.5 and 7, so we are okay. That's the pH of normal water. No, that's not the way you do monitor the environmental contamination. The truth is that river is contaminated, and the decontamination will take years to clear, especially if you leave it to the natural decontamination processes like just rains and plant.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
So to me, the government. I'm out. You can hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the government should be clear. They should not say that they have cleared everything. Everything is fine. The American government is correct. When you contaminate a soil or a river, it takes a minimum of 25 years. 25 years to clear that contamination. So you can't create in 2 months and say everything's fine. Go and drink the water. Do that. No, that's a lie. Okay, so the Americans are right to get their citizens out of there because that place is contaminated for a long, long time to come. That's all I can tell you from a scientific point of view.
Wow. Vakalinda, you want to jump in on this one, or are you still listening, or what? Do you have something to say on this one? Okay, let's go to our Vashtumba. I think Vashtumba is a nest. Can you tell us exactly like what implications are we looking at here? What are we saying? What implications do we have for the people? Go ahead, Vashtumba.
Okay, thank you very much. I think on this one, I don't have much to say. I think Vadan has explained everything in this situation. Yes. So, like what happened, I think, it was a disaster, and like to purify those the water that which was contaminated, it takes time, not like 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. Yes, so other complication will come later on. That's why we're going to see the effect of the what really happened, not today. So like that American came in. Yes, it's true. They have to move their people. And I think as a government, I think we have to do much more so that maybe we prevent uh, further damage. I think I don't have much to say on this one.
No problem. Yeah. That's very fine. That's very fine. Acceptable.
To me, I think what the government should do is just to make sure that we warn our citizens. Let's not play politics here and say everything's fine. Go and drink the water and do that. We're gonna start seeing these effects in the next 10, 15, 20 years, even 50 years from now. And people will be born with defects and all this type of thing. We don't want that to happen to our people. Let's take precautions. To me, I would relocate some people out of there and make sure that the water in that area. Actually, the problem with river contamination is that it spreads the contamination. Because the river, wherever it's going, it's spreading the contamination. So wherever the water, so the river is really, we're not just talking about people in that area. We're talking about people hundreds of kilometers from that place of contamination. So we have to be really serious about this. And we should not give false hopes to our citizens and say everything's fine. Just go and drink water and all that. We're going to see these effects in the next 25, 30 years. Children will be born without eyes. Children will be born with one leg, that type of stuff. So we need to be very careful.
I know you're going to have a me on this one.
You even know that you are the minister drinking water. But that, your minister, the quality of the ministers, at the quality. Which are same really? Seriously? With what Vadan is saying? You mean Vadan in your government, there are no people that can advise to say, if this is exactly the extent of how things are, whereby the minister should parade the entire community. I want to hear Vadan's comment on that. I was looking at it, I'm like, wherever Matambo, is this really seriously thinking rightly in his mind? That he must be able to be there and say, oh, and he's going to kill people like that. Abantu bakafuafe sana by that kind of reckless behavior by the minister. He should have been fired, actually. Because the environmental, the Zema, did Zema clear that water to say Yambenuku? If Zema cleared it, fire the Director General of Zema. Who cleared that water? And you see, this is high time we started holding these mines accountable. Once abantu are in the river system where it is going, they must be dependent on the mine. The mine must relocate them. It must provide for them. Away from that river, get them into a different river system that is not going to be polluted. That is what I was expecting to be discussed. But here you are, and then you even go after the American ambassador for bringing it out. Instead of trying to get to engage, how can they help us through some kind of financial support or whatever support, technical support, to actually make sure that that river is worked on. Now, Mwakata Minister wa Cornelius Mweto, I had a press conference to talk about it. Typical of very problem. Manipulation yama facts by your government. The manipulation of facts. Mulachita twist mwafichinja kwa jambo kumureka kwa tufili nomo. This is not right, colleagues. This is not right. Can you be honest for once, like Vadani has been honest?
Okay.
For Vadani, you are honest on this one. I will not argue with you. I will not do that. I will simply adopt and concede to what you have said. But over and above, the people that are managing, imagine, Vasamona Minister Lenwa from that pipe. Imagine Vasamona Minister of Information giving a government position on it. Meanwhile, Americans very familiar with abantu babo. It is not right. Someone must be held accountable. Even when I see ministers behave like that, there might be some corruption involved. I have no proof for it. It is my speculation that we must investigate them. How can they make such a reckless statement? So it is not right. We need to hold that mine accountable and make sure that they pay heavily for that kind of negligence because they know the effects of what they were doing.
Well, okay. I think let's keep it background.
Chanda, let me come in a little bit on this one.
No, go ahead. Yeah,
I'm back now. I'm back now. So I'm actually going to give two sides to this. One, as an American citizen. As an American citizen, Ambassador Gonzalez is very, very right to order his citizens out of that place. Because we don't play. If we hear anything about water sources being poisoned, that's a lawsuit on our end. It may happen now, and the effects might be seen 20 years later. The families of those people who drank that water on the copper belt would sue the government. So it's within his right to order his citizens to leave that area immediately. Now, that is speaking as an American citizen. Now, as a Zambian, I would like for this government, I don't care who has paid, because first of all, that Chinese firm, if it was in China, right now, they would have been beheaded and there wouldn't be any story to talk about. That company would have closed. That wasn't a mistake. It was carelessness. It was evil on their part. It was just, they had no regard for our laws in the country, for the people of Zambia. So they don't deserve to be making money on top of our blood. So I don't know who is listening in government. I don't know how much those people paid you. They have to go. We don't need companies like that who are going to kill us while we are watching, because maybe, like Azia says, $1 or $2 was exchanged. We have no proof. But for those people that came out and drinking, I don't know what Zema is saying. I haven't seen the report. There hasn't been any comment from them so far. Yeah, we know it happened. I mean, I think this is something we talked about on Bantu earlier on this year. So I don't know why are we reacting now? Why isn't that company closed by now? Is the question. So on that, that's all I have to say. But we should take matters like this seriously. Those Chinese businessmen of that company wouldn't do that in China and live to tell the tale. That company would have been closed. And if there are any people listening on the copper belt in Mwembeshi, this is a lawsuit. Sue that company for every dime they get until they are broke. We don't need such businessmen. I am there.
Okay. Well, I think as much as we would like to, continue the relationship between China and Zambia. Now here I'm just talking, just being the advocate, being the devil's advocate rather. When Mark was saying those things, he was also doing the same thing. He was just trying to be the devil's advocate. Yes, on a personal level, I can tell you that when it happened, when it happened, it was in February actually, when that tilling dam was blasted, or it was, it started spilling. It created a very, very, very huge impact in the local community, because you're looking at people that rely on the Mwembeshi River. And here's the thing now. Now this is where it becomes very, very, very serious, because it's not just Mwembeshi River, okay? Because it starts from there, but it's going to go as far as the Kitwe River. Now, everybody knows you get your Kitwe bream, you get your Kitwe fish, everything. And Kitwe is one of the major rivers that we have in Zambia. Very, very important to our economical, it's an economical hub. So these guys, I think they're stuck between a hard rock, because what it is we're trying to figure out. The government they've done what they can do. They've been putting lime in the water. They've been putting lime in all the affected areas, and they've actually compensated all those farmers who used to farm along that river. They've compensated them. That's what the reaction has been. But now, what we need to look at is study it very clearly. If you remember, there was that Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the bombing that happened in Vietnam when there was a US-Vietnam War. Those impact, it happened years later. The devastation of that nuclear bomb. Okay? It happened years later. And that's where we are. So, yes, I agree with everybody. It's been, the government is coming into place and putting all these factors and mitigating and everything. But what's going to happen in the next 50 years? I think we need the government to start putting in place, certain, government institutions, EMA and everything, study this further, so that they don't stop. They should continue studying it so that we know what's going to happen in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And it's so found like, look, because of that contamination, this is happening to our people in Zambia. Example, people not giving birth. Example, in stuff like that, people giving, deformed babies. and stuff like that, then we know where it's coming from. And like I said, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And it only happened years, and the United States, they're still paying up today, the Vietnamese, because of that devastation. So, we cannot mask it in any way, but hey, it's a topic that we need to really put in experts and stuff like that. Vakombe, you have just joined us. How are you? Come up with what we've discussed some of the most of the important topics.
Vakombe.
Chani Vakombe Pomuli? Oh, he said it. No. Oh, he said he's just listening, or
We normally shine in the Queen's, but I can chime in, man. We normally shine.
yeah. So whatever if you want to contribute to because we've talked about the Eddie Kalungu situation in South Africa. Overloshi balitaka claim ati trepo balipo kusana nikani tender body we came farm, and then now we're talking about the Sino Metals, the pollution. So whatever topic you're comfortable in, and you can just start chime in and tell us where you want.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, everyone on the panel, and good evening for those who are somewhere in Zambia. Yeah, I'll start with the contamination of water in the cafe. I think that was on my mind today the whole day. I think this thing is more serious than it is, and I hope the government comes in and actually makes a big decision. I think the people around that area really should be moved. We should not wait until health problems come in and people start dying or people being born in a certain way for us to act. This should be, I think the investigation should have been done by Parliament and not just the administration alone. These companies, the Chinese company itself that was involved, really should be looked at. If the Americans are saying they are moving anyone who's American from that area, that shows you how serious that problem is. Because once a waterway is polluted, you can't solve it in a month or two. There's a lot of things that's affected. There's a lot of contamination in that water. That has always worried me, but today I actually kept on thinking about it. And we've seen this in many parts of the world, and the swift actions that governments do. I'm not very satisfied. I think that Chinese company should be looked at very seriously. And then coming back to the ECL issue, it's a very unfortunate situation. I'm glad that the government has ruled, the courts actually ruled that he be brought back home, even if I hear there's an appeal, but I think that's the right decision. The language coming from the sister was unacceptable. She came out as very uncultured and very, very unfortunate that she can say that. To me, actually, I even go beyond. If she can say that to a government lawyer who's the Attorney General, what can she say to Esther? If I'm Esther, I'm worried. It was very unfortunate, but I think ECL should be brought back home and be given the full honors that befits a man of his position. He was our president. I disagreed with him pretty much on 95% of his policies, I disagreed with him. I don't subscribe to the PF agenda, but he was my president as well. So I think if the leaders, the so-called PF leaders, if they care about the country, they should bring him back home so that we all mourn him together. He's our president, and I hope the president extends the. And looking at the way the president has behaved, I think he will extend the national mourning. I'm calling on all Zambians. I think we should reach a stage where politics end and there's a place where we all rally behind the flag, around the flag. This is a Zambian thing. It's a human moment. It's very emotional. I worry about the people who are whispering in the Lungu family's ears because they continue to mislead them. To them, it's just politics. They don't care whether ECL is dead or not. They don't care. And I hope Dasila is listening. They think they are being shown love, but they're being misled. These vouchers, they want to continue using the dead president's name until the last vote is casted in 2026. But they should not be allowed. Genuine PF people, members who mean well and love the country, should say enough, because these vouchers, they are there in South Africa just because of politics. It's very unfortunate. Let ECL come back home. Let's mourn him. If he's going to be taken around the country, I would urge the president not to cut it short. Let's mourn him. If he's going to be taken to every province, so be it. And I think the president wouldn't have a problem with that because he has shown leadership during this time. He's been above politics. People have called him names and they've said a lot of things, but he has been above politics because this is a president who was our leader. So those are the things I wanted to comment on. And just another thing real quick, Batanda. What I would also urge my fellow UPND member, I'm a UPND member, is to quickly pivot, quickly turn after ECL is put to rest. Do not think we're not going to have a candidate who will compete with the president in 2026. We are going to have a candidate. They might not look strong. Our biggest candidate or person who's going to stand against to share votes with the president is the economy. So I would urge all UPND leaders, all MPs, all members to focus on the economy. Let's put more pressure so that the economy continues to move, because we've seen the direction the president is going. He has pushed a lot of things. He's teeing up all major sectors of the economy, be it energy, agriculture, manufacturing. He's doing very well, but the president alone cannot show these projects. I would urge all MPs and all members, all UPND-loving members, to continue pushing for the economy. So the economy will be our number one candidate that stands with the president. Let's not be comfortable with the 2.5, 2.8 that voted for the UPND. We have to know that amongst that 2.8, there was a big chunk of voters who voted against the PF. They didn't necessarily like HH, but they voted against the PF because of their evil way of ruling. PF should never be allowed in the corridors of power again. It is a violent party. It is a corrupt party. They don't have any direction. These people should never be voted back in. So let's keep it. Let's keep the president until 2031. He's the leader we've been waiting for 57 years. The leader is here. Let's support the president. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So I think that it's all been said and done. You come in later on, but we need to tackle issues.
But on this one,
No. Bakazia, there's so many things that you can
I'm here.
rebuttal.
I'm here to
Almost
offer.
everything. Almost
Batanda,
everything.
I am
you
here
can
to
rebuttal.
offer the opposing view so that
Okay.
there is a balance to things.
Okay.
Because
Listen.
Imwe say on one
Batanda.
side, Imwe, you are. Excuse me.
Okay. Within a minute,
Can
can
we
you
talk?
just
We are
Within a
talking
minute.
about
rebuttal in
What?
a minute?
we
Within
are
a
talking
minute.
about
What
the
I like.
river. Let's talk
What
about
I
the
like
topic.
about you guys is that the way you talk about how others are thinking. The others are thinking like this. But when the others want to talk about how you are thinking, you say, no, that's not what we are thinking. I don't know what
Can we
gives
talk
you
about
the
the river?
monopoly.
The topic has changed.
I don't know what gives you the monopoly of saying what other people are thinking. Instead of just saying what you are thinking. Don't speak on what other people are thinking, which is the fantasy, fallacy. Huh? Because you see, anyway.
Okay.
Bachanda.
So
Bachanda.
here's what we're gonna do.
Let's move forward.
Let's all contribute in the next topic.
Let's move forward, Batan.
Can I
Yeah.
just contribute on the river contamination topic? 1 minute maximum.
Okay, go ahead.
One thing which the American government ambassador said, which is very correct as well about the contamination of the water, is that when you are decontaminating the environment, especially water, the Zambian government, all they're doing is adding lime, calcium carbonate to it, okay? That is not removing the toxins out of the water. The toxins out of the water, they are mineral components because the mining, whatever. So you have lead there, you have arsenic acid, you have all this cyanide and all this type of stuff. So adding lime and bringing the pH in the range of a normal water pH is not decontaminating the river. That's a fake sign you're giving to the people. To decontaminate the water, you have to remove the toxins out of the water, not just adding lime. So how do you remove lead, for example, from the water? You add a chemical that's going to react with the lead and form a compound that you can filter out. Okay? So you go in, find the contaminants in the water, and use chemistry, use industrial chemists now to find the chemical that's capture that contaminant and form a compound which you can then take out of the river.
When you hide,
That's how to decontaminate happens. Yeah. So it's a long process. So just adding lime and then measure the pH of water and say everything's fine. That is not right. Okay, that's what I wanted to add to that. Because all they've done, they've used Zambia.
I think that's what like I said on that one. Like, look, this should be a continuous process, and it shouldn't be stopped. And in terms of implementing all these measures, it should be continuous, and it should be studied in the next coming 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It should be studied so that we know exactly the implication of what that spillage has done to the river system. And by the way, it's not just where it is, because you can imagine Kitwe is how far does Kitwe River go? So we need to know exactly, and we need to put in Wazema abalingire baishi babatampo kwingira mumananikane muma. They should move out of their offices, stop drinking. And mostly that's what they're doing. But anyway, whatever.